Mets in the 80s.
Yeah, exactly. Hello and welcome, everyone. If you're just tuning away from the Drive with Q, of course, now it is time with Beav's World here with, of course, Jay, myself, here on Sports Radio 102.9 FM. The Game, brought to you by Broad Street South and SR 1029 thegame.com. Don't forget, you can always download the app directly from the website and check out all the content that goes on here on the network, as there's still more stuff to come. As I mentioned earlier on this morning on my show, thank you to City Garage Motorsports. Don't forget, you guys can catch that new segment on Wednesdays, 11 a.m. Fast Chat with CGM with Stuart and Jason. It's going to be a lot of fun. I can't wait for that episode to drop. And then more exciting news coming up at 10 o'clock on Monday as well. So Wednesday is going to be a big show day. And then we start getting into Christmas and New Year's. We'll give you guys the schedule rundown probably Thursday. Friday, I will not be on with Pete and or my show. And for that matter, probably the rest of the day.
Come on, Angel, really? I mean, come on, man.
Well,
I'm
yeah, I got to take care of the Cure Bowl. So I have to make sure I'm out there for Jacksonville State.
I'm messing with you, buddy. Relax. We're good.
Nah, that's all right. But yeah, so I'll be out there on Friday. It'll be a good time. Myself, my producer, Dylan, and Alex, our network photographer, all of us will be making our trip out to Orlando to make sure we take care of that. And then we should be taking care of also the Rely Quest the week that follows. And then hopefully as well as the Pop-Tarts Bowl. So we'll see. It's going to be a very, very busy couple of weeks around here, around these parts. So it should be good times as always. But as we heard yesterday, and you guys have heard throughout the day, the start off, I guess, with the big one being that Detroit, only 2 losses. One comes to the Bucks, and then the other one comes to the Bills. And the Bills, the only team also to give up back-to-back weeks where they have 40-plus points, but also allows the teams to come back by 40-plus points. And my big takeaway, Beav, is that why? There's about 8:04 left in the fourth. Why, out of any time whatsoever, that Dan Campbell decides
there was 12 minutes. There was 12 minutes left, and they were down 10 points when he did it.
And I was listen. I was trying to be nice, but 8 minutes because that's what it felt like.
I'm not nice. I'm factual. There's a difference.
Yeah, well,
I got a better one. I got a better one for you, by the way. And by the way, I can defend the onside kick, but I'm going to talk about something later that he did that was worse. But continue.
All right. Well, my thing is, when it comes down to it, don't forget, you guys can also call or text the show at 727-858-6650, 727-858-6650. And you can leave your comments here on the social medias as well. Facebook, Twitch, YouTube, Twitter, Kicks, Rumble, and of course, right on the website player itself. You guys can always do that as well. But no, my thing is, and we all know Dan Campbell's taken he has definitely taken a little bit of heat here and there, not too much, but you had them kind of almost on the ropes. You knew you were coming back. There was a golden opportunity when all you had to do, just kick it to the other end zone. That's all you had to do. But Dan decided with 12 and some change, nope, let's go for the onside kick, and possibly, which ultimately ending up changing the outcome of the game. But nonetheless, it's the first time I will say this season I completely disagree with what Dan Campbell did there.
Well, he kind of did after the game, but if you understand what was going on in the game, they hadn't stopped the Bills all game. They turned Ty Johnson into Thurman Thomas. So I can kind of understand what he did. And the thing that's underreported and talked about that is the play that Matt Collins made, ex-Eagle, of course. But, that's not why they lost. They're running out of players on defense. So I don't know. I don't know what to tell you. That's the least of their problems. Angel, have you seen the injury report post game for the Lions after the game?
There's a couple of guys are definitely done for the season. It seems
they've lost 4 more players, 3 starting players on defense, and their Pro Bowl running back for the season. So let me explain this to you folks, okay? Whichever team you watch, okay? The Lions currently have 22 players on injured reserve. 19 of them are defensive players. So I think I saw the stat, Angel. I think the Eagles have 4 on IR, the entire team. So I don't even know how to explain this. And it's not just like there any 22 schleps. It's Aiden Hutchinson. It's really good players. It's I don't know what to tell you uh, about what's going on here. I'm worried that I might get taken out by some sniper today here
Drone.
from my second floor apartment. But it's I've never seen it like in my life. And obviously, the kick returner guy who got hurt 30 on the crossing route, we broke his leg, Dorsey. There, I mean, you knew that was bad. That was like Aiden's injury, which was in the Dallas game in about week 5. Aline McNeil tore his ACL. There's a 50 pressure inside defensive tackle, which is the hardest thing to find in the NFL as an interior pass rusher. You got Jalen Carter on your Eagles, so he fits that criteria. And they're just running out of players. And it was a weird game. I think Josh Allen pretty much clinched up the MVP. He was incredible. There's not a whole lot the Lions can do. And you continue to make a good point. We've talked about this. The Lions are 11-2, and they have nothing guaranteed. Now, I don't think the Packers can catch them because they swept them, and I think they're at least 2 games up on them. The Vikings are right there. The Vikings played tonight against the Bears. We go to Chicago. They're a corpse right now, but with the state of our defense, we're in bad shape. Their defense is good against the run. That's what the Lions do. And hell, the Lions' hammer running back is gone. Now they got the speed guy who's left. The Lions probably have to go sign a practice squad guy who's a hammer back and put him back there because they can't just run Jahmyr Gibbs up the middle. He'll die. So it's a very gloom and doom time in the greater Detroit area, Angel. I'm not going to lie to you. We need Angle to come in here and do like the karma and bring it out. I don't know, but what a mess. This is I'm beginning to wonder, and I never thought I would say this ever in my life. Could this season break Dan Campbell?
That's it.
That's going to be hard to do. And by the way, I think something it's very, you know how big I'm a huge Dan Campbell guy. You know this, of course, Angel. I'll never forget something that he said after they blew the NFC Championship game last year. You should have won that game. And there were a lot of weird things that happened. It wasn't all just Dan going for a 4th down. He had a really good receiver drop 2 balls that should have been caught, and they would have converted both of those. But Dan said something after the game that is being talked about a lot today. He said, "You never know when you're going to get back here." And it's almost like the guy played or something for a couple of years in the league and was a good player. But this is a weird league. And you see it now with Pat Mahomes is hurt. Other people, look at the 49ers year with all their guys getting hurt. You guys won the Super Bowl when the MVP of the league, Carson Wentz, got hurt, and Nick Foles came in out of nowhere. Jeff Hostetler on the Giants in 90. Kurt Warner. Hell, my buddy over here, Mr. Brady. Oh, my God, Drew Bledsoe's hurt. What are we going to do? Oh, my God. Yeah. Guess the guy who came in was pretty good. Don Mikowski gets slammed on his shoulder. He's busted up shoulder. They put in this Brett Favre guy. I mean, look at Russell Wilson this year with the Steelers. We all laughed. I'm like, he's not better than Justin Fields. And there's always Sam Darnold's another one. So it's a weird league. Hi, Mickey. How you doing? I see a poster. Thank you for tuning in. But no, it's a crazy league. You know this. You just get through the game, get it over with, go on to the next one. A lot of weird things happen. One of the years, I think it was my senior in high school. The Eagles were supposed to go to the Super Bowl, and Cunningham tore his ACL in like the first game. So stuff like that. So we'll see, but we'll know what you're doing. But yeah, it's don't know what to say. I've never seen it like this season with the Lions and all the guys getting hurt. It's just nuts.
Yeah, me either.
I wonder when I step outside my door if I'm going to get hit by a bus or something half the time now. It's just nuts.
Yeah. No, it's and again, you got to think about having stuff that, as far as for Dan Campbell, I think it's going to be a tough road for them to actually win throughout at this point at home.
I think they'll lose at least one more game.
Yeah. And so I think it's going to be one to see.
In the regular season, they're not going to hold on. They're not going to stay at 2 losses. They will get another loss in the regular season.
Mickey, by the way, it's good to see you. And it's been a minute, Mickey, since you've been on with us here, or at least in the comments for a while. But I hope you're happy and healthy. That other comment, I'm not even going to get into it because, again, it's just, whatever.
Spamming.
The good thing is that you brought up a couple of quarterbacks there. And the one thing is, Tyler, how are you? But the one thing is that I end up bringing up there is you had mentioned Russell Wilson, and I think I kind of feel for Justin Fields, and I say it this way because
I do too.
He came from Chicago. They blamed him for all the mistakes and everything that went wrong in Chicago. He got the blame for it. Comes to Pittsburgh, and Russell Wilson, no one knew what kind of season he was going to end up having. Obviously, he ended up having a better season, but now Justin Fields is still looking from the outside in versus he should be looking from the inside out just to see what's available. But you got to wonder is if Pittsburgh decides to hang on to him for another season, or if someone decides that they need a QB for the moment in case the one that they want in the draft is not available or is taken high. But it makes you wonder, like, how comfortable would Justin Fields feel to be, let's say, 2 more years as a backup quarterback to Russell Wilson?
Well, I mean, they're similar skill sets. It's not like this is Dan Marino and Michael Vick. They are a little similar. Russell doesn't run as much as he used to. That's my buddy Tyler's chime in, and he and his family come to all the Michigan games and say hi. His daughter Bailey's my favorite, so there you go.
Oh,
Hi,
nice.
Tyler. No, it's always let's do which is me and you off the top of our head. Who needs a quarterback? The Giants,
Yeah.
right? The Titans, the Raiders. There's 3. The Jets do long term. The Browns do. What's that, 5? Okay, so let's do the league now. The Vikings are going to move off either offer JJ or Sam Darnold. There's one guy, right? I think Jameis Winston will be a starter. Some of the Saints also need a quarterback. There's six teams. So I don't know. This is a terrible quarterback draft. Outside of Shador, I don't see a lot of quarterbacks. I think yours sucks. I think I think the kid at George is terrible. No, he's hurt. I don't know what to make. I mean, Will Howard stinks. I mean, the kid he replaced is better, and he had a good year at Syracuse. That's what's his face, McLean. What's the kid who was the Ohio State? Kyle McCord. Kyle McCord, I like better than him. I don't know after Shador, who the second best quarterback is. I like Dylan Gabriel, but he's more like Bo Nix. He needs things around him. He doesn't have great traits. He's maybe worst case he's like Colt McCoy. Best case that type of guys like Drew Brees, career backup or a really good all pro level player. And I'm not the biggest Drew Brees fan. That's a whole other show. But we'll see. If you have a very limited quarterback, it limits what you can do. Just watch the Dolphins with Tua. And to a lesser extent, the Cardinals with Kyler Murray. And, I mean, there's a Mac Jones who's, oh, my God, Jesus Christ, watching him yesterday made me want to go back to church. It's just, I don't know. And then you have somebody like Aaron Rodgers who supposed to be washed up, and he and Devontae Adams are lighting up and in my fantasy season. So I don't know. It's just I think there's about 6 or 7 teams in your quarterback, and there's not many good ones in this draft. So you're looking at Sam Darnold, J.J. McCarthy, Russell Wilson, or Justin Fields, Jameis Winston. Derek Carr is going to change teams probably again. I don't know. I think Bryce Young has clearly deserved a third year with Panthers. He's played well. I know he had a rough day yesterday, but he's played well. All the rookie quarterbacks who were playing have looked pretty good. Seattle's another one, by the way. What did they do with Geno? So what's that? 7 teams.
Yeah.
Um, obviously Joe Burrow, Lamar are awesome. So there's 2 teams. Oh, just go to the AFC. You got Drake May, Tua, Josh Allen. They're all secure. Then you got Burrow and Lamar. They're secure. Then you got C.J. Stroud in that division. Trevor Lawrence just signed a big extension.
Mm-hmm.
Titans and Anthony Richardson's a car accident. Don't look at his stats, but they have to keep playing him. AFC West, outside of the Raiders, everybody's set. You got Herbert, Mahomes, and Knicks. And then that's just the Raiders' whole problem. The Raiders have the worst coach and the worst quarterback in the division. That's a bad combination. Then you do the NFC. Cowboys have Dak. They just extended him. The Giants are a mess. Your Eagles, all the fighting aside, are loaded, and the quarterback's good. Jaden Daniels in Washington. Then you do the NFC North. You got the Bears with Caleb, Jordan Love, Packers. The Vikings, one way or the other, will have a good quarterback, and the Lions have Jared Goff. NFC South, Baker Mayfield, Saints mess, Carolina, Bryce Young, Atlanta Falcons. They're going to move on to Penix here soon after the disaster with Cousins. And you do the NFC West. Purdy, decision time. He's putting out there. He wants $60 million. If I'm the 49ers, I go find it somewhere else. You ain't going to be here. Cardinals with Kyler Murray. He is what he is. They paid him. Seattle, mess. Rams, Stafford, who's incredible, but if he takes one hit the wrong way, he's in a retirement home. I just did the whole NFL, all the quarterback situations. So, but it's like I do this all day, Angel.
Yeah.
But no, it's a weird league. Lions are feeling great about their team, and just this crazy rash of injuries and the scheduling people at the NFL giving them 4 games in 18 days, and just they don't care about the players. They're too busy trying to get Netflix money and all this other stuff. But it is what it is. But it's pretty sad. I hate seeing any team injured. There are teams every year that 49ers had a lot of weird stuff happen. We make fun of them, but what happened to the Jets last year? What was it 5 plays into the season and Rodgers' leg fell off?
Yep.
Oh, it is what it is.
Why? That's the other thing too. Why? It's certain things are just annoying. Why must the media one game that the stinking Jets win and like, oh, hey, Aaron Rodgers, did you feel like the old Aaron Rodgers when you were throwing to Devontae Adams? Like,
you got 4 wins. They got like 4 wins, don't they?
Yeah. They acted like they won the Super Bowl.
They played one of the teams in the league that's almost as bad as them with Mac Jones playing quarterback.
Yeah.
Mac Jones will be working at Burger King next year. He's not going to be on it. He actually played pretty well yesterday, but he stinks. And he was like the 15th pick in the NFL draft by the Patriots of all teams. No, you beat Mac Jones. And yet you had to come back to beat him, and they fell asleep, and they forgot to cover Devontae Adams twice. He had 135 yards in the last 4 minutes of the game. Devontae Adams.
Yep.
Quick, name another receiver on the Jets.
There isn't any. Right.
Whoa, Garrett Wilson. That's it. But he's a banana head, and he was hurt, and he was screaming on the sideline. So. It's not like, this is Isaac Bruce, Torrey Holt, and Marshall Faulk out there, for Christ's sakes. It is what it is. But, the Jets are at least entertaining. And Aaron is a polarizing figure. And, not in a good way, but Aaron's at least interesting. Not always in a good way, I should say that. He's got ridiculous talent. It's just he doesn't really put it out there and commit to it fully. And that's his whole problem. It's like Ben Roethlisberger the same way. Ben Roethlisberger looked like he trained at Chick-fil-A because guess what? He probably did.
He probably did. Which at the end of his career.
He was bigger than about 75% of the defensive players trying to tackle him.
Yeah. And at the end of his career, I mean, he just wasn't that great, man.
Body just fell apart.
Yeah,
I mean, it's different if you're unathletic, like how Peyton Manning was, and then he did his neck thing, and then his just body fell apart.
yeah.
Andrew Luck was super athletic, but he got his brains beat in. So, and he just got pummeled. He had bad offensive lines. By the end of his career, he had a good offensive line, but the guy had lacerated kidneys and just awful injuries. And it was just, it's too much to take on. And, this is a full-time thing. Lawrence Taylor said it best. He's thinking about retiring. Once you start thinking about retiring, you should retire. Lawrence Taylor, instead of blowing guys up, is helping guys up. That's not Lawrence Taylor. So Ronnie Lott's another one. These guys that have to play with an edge, and once you lose the edge, you just go home, go sit with your kids. J.J. Watt got asked about 400 times yesterday. He was out here in the pregame show with CBS about playing for the Lions. Everywhere he went, the whole time he was there, the whole weekend, he was asked about go play for the Lions. By the way, they could have used him yesterday, but he doesn't want to play. You have to be so incredibly focused to do this job. That's why I have so much respect for this guy, because he brought it for such a high level, and he took it, what he did, and learned it in Michigan and with the Patriots, and he brought it to the Buccaneers. And Baker and those guys have taken the teachings, Mike Evans, Vita Vea, all the veteran guys, Antoine Winfield, Wirfs, all the guys they got, the great players that Tommy won with, and they have transitioned it to, and the Buccaneers like a model franchise, Jason Light and those guys, John Spytek, Darcy Glazer, just an incredible coach Bowles, who's awesome. Just a really, really good organization, because you have to be committed to do this job. It's not a part-time thing. This is what Aaron's whole problem is. He should have more rings than he does, but it's not his priority in his life. It's like, it's my job. I'll go on 9 to 5. The 9 to 5 guys don't win and consistently last long in this league, and you see it all the time. The half-ass guys,
Yeah.
they don't last, and they don't put out. They don't have it. They don't produce, and the league finds weaknesses and they attack it. And that's what happened to the Lions here. So many injuries on defense. Defense is getting shredded.
I've had a question earlier on my own show, and I mentioned for the coaches that right now are on the hot seat, and they know it. I mean, obviously, Doug still has a job, and I don't think Shad Khan is not going to get rid of Doug. Because he already said he's not paying someone to sit at home and collect a check. Plus, there's only 3 games left. So at this point, at the end of the season, his contract is done.
You're saying at the end of the season, he is going to fire him. He's not going to fire him now. I got you. Okay, I got what you're saying. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, of course.
My thing is for coaches that didn't do so well. I don't want to say failed, because I know there's different ways to say that in a different context. But so the coaches that the expectations were high and didn't deliver, to put it in best terms.
The Jaguars fit that criteria.
Yeah. Would it possibly, I don't see it, but would a lot of these coaches end up somewhere else, whether it be a coordinator or something else? Because I don't see, and no offense to Doug, I don't see even someone picking up Doug as a coordinator somewhere.
What about a quarterback's coach?
Possibly.
Quarterback's coach for a young coach who's coming in, like what a new Sean McVay type guy.
Right.
That's how that works. Was it? Didn't Sean McVay have Wade Phillips as his defensive coordinator early?
Yep.
Yeah, that type of thing. And look at what. Hey, don't get mad at me. I'm going to bring out Angle. Did you see who that evil head coach of yours who he hired to be his defensive coordinator this year? Vic. How's that working out, Angel?
Yeah.
Hey, Angel. I know it's Monday. You might have to say bad things about your mortal enemy, the evil Saint Nick, not the good Saint Nick. That guy who makes you nuts. You say his name, you become the Incredible Hulk. That guy, that was but both coordinators, but the defensive coordinator is like a Hall of Fame defensive coordinator. That guy worked for Harbaugh. Those 49ers teams were great with the Patrick Willis and those guys.
Right.
The great teams that they lost to his brother in the Ravens in the Super Bowl. But that was Coach Fangio, who was awesome.
Yep.
And that's a big part of why your team's good. Jalen Hurts and friends can just figure out how to hand the ball to Saquon because that defense is so good. I mean, he converted Braun, who's an outside linebacker pass rusher. He's having him play like all-pro level linebacker. All the Georgia guys he's got. The two rookie defensive backs, Cooper and is it Mitchell, the Toledo kid.
Mm-hmm.
So he's done an incredible job. But that's what you do. That's what happens to a Doug Peterson. And by the way, this is the mistake that Belichick's making at UNC. Instead of bringing in all of his retread Patriots guys, he just bring in younger guys. Don't forget, who's the biggest, most impressive guy from the, quote, Belichick tree. There's actually two. The most impressive one is Bill O'Brien. Bill O'Brien was from another school of thought and came into the Patriots. And then obviously Mike Vrabel, who really didn't work for Bill, but he played there and he learned a lot. And he does a lot of things. And he stole one of his tricks from him to beat him in a playoff game in 2019, the clock killing stuff with the penalties. But no, that's how you do it. You yin and yang. You and I work good because of that. I never shut up, and you're just the ringmaster.
No, but it's interesting to me because you figured, to me, I still think Todd Bowles is on a hot seat no matter what in Tampa.
Oh, no way. He shouldn't be. No, should not be. But I don't, because of the Liam Cohen thing. If he's on, he should not. If he's on the hot seat because he hired a good coordinator, something's wrong in the world. Todd Bowles should not be on the hot seat. No, I disagree. I think Coach Bowles is really underrated and does a great job with that team. And he did a great transition from Tommy retiring. And they found Baker Mayfield, and they truly changed the culture of the team. They had a lot of injuries, almost on the Lions level.
Mm-hmm.
And not only that, high-level guys. Obviously Chris Godwin's the biggest one that you can think of on top. And Winfield's been hurt a couple times.
Yeah.
But no, Coach Bowles is good. I just, for life of me, I don't understand. Is it because he's quiet? I don't know. He's not a rebel rouser. No, he's awesome. And he's been around forever. And he was playing when I was in high school for the Redskins and the 49ers, a couple other teams. But no, I would think Coach Bowles is, if he's in trouble because of Liam Cohen, that's nuts. Don't forget, he lost Canales, who's doing a good job with the Panthers. I mean, they looked like ass the first couple of months of the season. They've been playing good. I know they sucked yesterday, but they've been playing better. And he's really fixed Bryce Young.
He has. Listen,
Canales is very good. And so is Liam. Liam's going to be a head coach here, but to lose, why would you fire? What did Todd Bowles do wrong? You might have a player revolt if you fire him too, but he's like the grandpa of the team. No, I'm serious. He's like the grandfather type guy.
No, he is.
That's why he looks like he's 75 years old because he's been around the NFL forever. He's like a dog years, for God's sake. He's been around forever, but he's awesome.
I like him the second time around though, versus what he did with what happened with the Jets. But again, it's the Jets. Jets self-imposed.
For God's sakes. I mean, they ruin everything.
But I do like
Aaron Rodgers, for God's sakes.
Well, I don't.
Hey, see, I had to use that. I had to go to that. I'm sorry.
I know, but to me, I don't know.
I mean, Blake Bondi. So I mean, it's it's just I don't know. I don't know what to tell you. And by the way, I don't think he was that bad when he was with the Jets, if I remember correctly.
It was pretty bad. It was pretty bad.
Oh, I mean, the Jets are pretty bad. I don't know if we've gone over this, Angel.
No, I know they're pretty bad. But okay, here's another thing. If you're Louis Riddick and you're getting paid handsomely from ESPN.
I was waiting for you to bring this up.
Are you actually going to live or leave like comfortable confines? You just have to go up to Connecticut every once in a while. Yeah. At least 85% of the time you're home. They might send you off somewhere. It's all, bought and paid for and stuff.
It goes to the NFL Combine in Indy and a couple other things, but that's about it. You are correct.
Right. But why would you even consider becoming the G? And I get it if you want to try it again, but why? There's no way to.
I have an answer.
Okay.
I have an answer.
Money.
There's only 32 of those jobs in the world. And remember, there's a couple things. Louis Riddick is a Belichick guy. He played for him in Cleveland. That 94 playoff game between the Bill Parcells Patriots and the Bill Belichick Browns with Nick Saban as his defense coordinator Drew Bledsoe threw 2 interceptions to Louis Riddick in that game. Louis Riddick is a huge Bill guy. I think he was waiting around to go with Bill somewhere.
Right.
And Bill went to UNC. So I think that's part of what's going on here. And, why did guys go back? Why did Mike Lombardi leave doing what he was doing to go with Belichick again and be his general manager in college? Why do we, it's a drug, Angel. It's hard to explain because I went through it when Tommy retired. When you're used to dealing with, you build up everything for that one game a week.
Right.
And that's everything you put in that week. And you lose because the punt return cover guy, the ball goes off his leg, or a ball goes off this guy, or the ref blows this call, or some numbnut misses a block, or there's a guy's going in to score a touchdown and he fumbles on the 1 yard line because he's hot dogging. All this stuff that happens in a game. And you try to go through all these scenarios of what's going to happen. And hey, I'm sure Dan Campbell had his meeting in July and said, hey, what do we do? We use 22 players in IR and 19 of them on defense. You can't prepare for all this stuff. That's why you have to have a feel and experience and knowing to do with stuff and how to deal with things. And it's just, that's why it's a drug. Why does an alcoholic or a drug addict go back and do what they're doing? I'm a recovering addict. I used to be addicted to painkillers. It wasn't so bad. I still am addicted to painkillers. I just didn't use them. But it got to the point where every day I would get up, and no matter how I was feeling, I just take them because it becomes part of your routine. It's like the little kids. If you have grade school kids, they get up at like 5:30 in the morning to go to school at 7 o'clock, right?
Right.
But during the summer, they're still waking up at 5:30 automatically sometimes. Why? Because they got a body clock. And that's how it works. But it's a drug. It's competition. Once it's gladiator, are you not entertained? And it's hard to find a replacement for that. And that's why, I talk about Tommy, the Jerry Rices, the Walter Paytons, the John Elways, the guys, they're the elite level players. What we saw yesterday with Josh Allen he's a planet player. There's only so many people on the planet who can do what he does. And it's hard to find a venue for somebody to do that. I mean, when Michael Phelps retired from swimming, he was like, what am I going to do in my life? What am I going to do? He's the greatest person ever at what he does. And he doesn't know what he's going to do. And he created his depression and mental health foundation he deals with. He does a lot of other great things. But how do you replace being the best at what you do every day for your life? Like, there are people who raced Michael Phelps hundreds of times and couldn't beat him if they had a shotgun on him. And it's just nuts. But it's part of what it is. But Rick, you didn't miss anything. Angel and I just having a steel cage match. Don't worry about it. We're all right. we still love you, buddy.
Exactly. UFC Battle Royale. I don't know, number 35 at this point.
What happened to Cody Rhodes? Oh my God.
That's true. Couldn't find him.
Did you see that move that guy put on him?
Mm-hmm.
That looked like Bret Hart on Stone Cold, where he really broke his neck. Not Bret Hart, Owen Hart. Sorry.
Yeah.
There you go. Auto Racing Digest. What's up, buddy?
That's Dylan.
Like an auto racing fan. See, you need to talk to my business partner, Kathy. She's the NASCAR and racing person. I know nothing. This is what I know about auto racing and NASCAR. Nothing. She's my informant on that. But I'm glad you're part of our team and joining up and helping Angel out. And because talent of my level is expensive, so it is what it is. But Angel's laughing. But yeah, it's here you go. Just for the lawyers and legal fees having me around, it's important. It's expensive. But no, it is what it is. But like I said, I'm excited. The auto racing, that is a huge sport. It's like college sports. You pick your own team. People are fanatics about it. Going back to when Earnhardt Sr. and Jimmy Johnson and who was the young kid that everybody hated? Oh my God. Who was the young guy that came up? not Tony Stewart, Jeff Gordon.
Yeah.
Jeff Gordon. And then the two brothers, one's the big ears, the one brother that everybody likes, and the Bushes, Kurt and Kyle.
Yeah.
And mentioned Tony Stewart is from Ohio. And there's a lot of really good things in the history of auto racing. It's a huge sport. It's a big deal here in Michigan. So I'm excited to have that on board, and it's going to be good for our network. And it's good. And everybody needs to give Angel a hand because he's kicking ass and taking names on that stuff.
I'm trying. That's
And he keeps me in line most of the time. So there you go.
I try. No, it's definitely good to have City Garage Motorsports on board as they will take on the full season for Arkham Nard Series coming up. With also some local races here. But there's a lot that's in store leading up to the first flag drop of the season. So stay tuned. That is on Wednesday at 11 a.m. the debut of Fast Chat with CGM. So that's gonna be a lot of fun. And I'm extremely happy that we're able to put it together. It was a couple of weeks and a couple of months for that matter of talks to finally get it together and get it working. So it's fun. Stuart and Jason, I met them. And as I mentioned on my morning show this morning, it probably should have been about a 15, 20-minute meeting. We were going back and forth so much with ideas and thoughts and everything else. It turned out to be about an hour and a half. And at the end of the meeting, you really couldn't tell because we just ended up having a real good time as far as getting to know each other and sharing it back and forth. And you guys, the great thing is you guys can check out their team over on our website. You click on Fast Chat, it'll take you right over to City Garage Motorsports. And at the same time, too, if you go to citygaragemotorsports.com, it'll bring you back up to us because we are the official sports radio station of CGM, and that's absolutely fantastic to say. So it's a lot of good things that are coming up here for 2025, and CGM is a big part of it, which is going to be a lot of fun. So, and Rick, thanks for the applause here. I appreciate it. It's a lot of work. So a lot of times when I say to people, if I'm off from the air, it's because I'm working on something. And then when you're a one-man show here at the network, it's tough when you have to wear many hats. Then I make sure the other shows run, just like the addition of Luther Riley, which I'm calling Doc Riley. He just got his doctorate. The round of interviews that we had last week, it was so much fun on Wednesday, and he brought the energy. I can't wait for you guys to see him on his debut Wednesday night on Talking Hoops. Ron Briscoe, who was with us, Ron stepped down. He was offered a position elsewhere, which is something that he absolutely loves. Basketball is always going to be, his heart and soul. And he had said he was retired, but listen, sometimes some companies call and they ask you to do a certain thing and you can't say no, just like Louis Riddick, I guess, when it comes to the Jets. So thanks to Ron Briscoe, though. He put in a lot of
no to the Jets, Angel.
Yeah. He put in a lot of blood, sweat, and tears when it came to Talking Hoops, and we're happy. So the new addition, Luther Riley, as we're calling him, Doc Riley. I told him we had Dr. J with the Sixers. Now we have Doc Riley on Talking Hoops. So it's going to be fantastic. I couldn't be happier with the addition of Luther on board. So you guys can check out that show on Wednesday. But no, it's a lot of work. It's a lot of work to put stuff together.
Sure.
And there's going to be another announcement on Wednesday as well. So you guys tune into Martinez Company at 10 o'clock. Gabriel will be with me on Wednesday. So this 2025 is going to end up being a really big year for the network. And I mean, really big. And as you know this, Beav, that, they say if you can make it within the first 5 years of your company, you made it. Anything less than that, you failed, and then becomes profitable. So we're coming up on the 5-year mark. And a huge, huge, huge thanks to my wife, as I call her, my digital producer, because without her and her backing and her sacrifices, and for her to make sure that she keeps me in line when there's times when I can just go completely ape crap. She's always there. And
says the Sirianni word, and you just go in the right way.
Yeah. That'll definitely happen, but
shows you a picture and you just game face.
It's happened before, but
I know.
If my wife wasn't there, I will tell you, I would be completely lost. And they say the back half of your life is always better. And I will say, as you guys end up knowing here, I feel like I won the Super Bowl June 15th when we got married, and I even mentioned that to her. And that's the best. It's been the best thing ever, honest to God. And there's a lot of things that happen. Dylan's been on board for a little bit. He's been having fun as he's been trying to grow his stuff, Auto Racing Digest, Spalding Media Network. Rick, who's been a great friend. I mean, there's just a lot. And I'll get into it next week when we get the closeout of the year. But yeah, it's a lot of work. It's a lot of work. It's a lot of grind. It's tough. No, you did not miss it, but you can bring it up, Rick. You did not miss the discussion about the Sacramento State discussing Michael Vick as a head coach. Not at all. So,
See what Dion created?
yeah.
Did you see what? Oh, yeah. Not think about how nuts that is. What Dion created.
Yep. Which, okay.
And but Eddie George has been coaching for a while now. Who else is out there that's a celebrity coach? There's one other one that I'm missing. Who was it that? Bieniemy just got fired, and he was an assistant. There's one other. Oh, didn't Ray Lewis just get hired? Or was
No,
about
he
to
was
get hired
supposed to
from
have.
Florida Atlantic or somebody? I kept hearing this.
So it was the rumor was he was supposed to go to either FAU or FIU, and
Or
suppose
just FU? Come on, Angel. There you go. That was funny.
well,
I mean,
and some of the locals around here, they call it find another university down at FAU. That does not come from me. That comes from people who didn't like FAU. I don't mind them because, again, I have, listen, I don't ruffle any feathers when it comes to any universities because, it's a struggle. It's tough. FAU is in a hard spot up there on the other side of by Boca Raton. You got FIU with Pitbull that's trying to do something, but the rumor was supposed to be that he was going to become the head coach over at FAU, but Robbie, when he was on with us, Robbie Lestrella, when he was on with us, he said, nope, that was just a rumor. It wasn't true. But as you brought up, there was somebody else you brought up before, Eddie George.
Eddie George has been coach. He was an assistant for a while. Now he's the head coach, I believe. Dion. Well, Warren Sapp is on Dion's staff. There's another. Who's the other one? There was another. Oh, Trent Dilfer.
Yep.
Trent Dilfer, isn't he coaching like a Super Bowl or high school, like IMG level type place?
I believe so.
Dilfer is, yeah.
Yep.
Trent Dilfer's coaching. There's a bunch of guys that do this. Yeah, I mean, but again, I mean, by the way, we are just talking about the Lions. Look at, who the Lions quarterback coach is? Mark Brunell.
Oh, wow. Former Jagger.
So Antoine Randall-L's there. Yes, yeah, I mean, University of Alabama, Birmingham, correct, I believe, right? Is that where Dilfer is?
Yes.
He was coaching like quarterback academy or whatever the hell it's called for a while, and then he got that job. Yeah, I mean, hey, I think Josh McCown is, Teddy Bridgewater's a high school coach, but McCown, I believe, is the Commanders quarterback coach. Or is another, I forget what team he's coaching. He's coaching somebody's quarterback. I think it's Commanders. He's the Commanders quarterbacks coach. Yeah, Teddy Bridgewater. Yeah, Teddy Bridgewater retired from the Lions to go take that job. So, yeah, that's crazy.
Speaking about the Commanders, is it, and I know because it becomes that time of the year, but they start on fire, have kind of, went from fire to sizzle to now kind of fizzled. And you wonder if, and listen, the Eagles have them coming up, which they could possibly stop their win streak, at 10. But I didn't expect for the Commanders to play as well as they did this season. I didn't think Dan Reeves was going to come in here and take things off like gangbusters. I know Jaden Daniels is a good quarterback, don't get me wrong, but I didn't think they were going to do what they did. But if the Commanders continue to fizzle the rest of the way of the season, was it a semi-bust for the Redskins?
No, because most people pick them to be like last, or them and the Giants. No, they've had a good year. And the biggest thing with them, much like the Patriots, they found their quarterback. And they weren't sure if they were going to find their quarterback. Because I think most people thought Caleb would be good. Now, he's having to overcome the dysfunction and the stupidity of the Bears. But, Jaden Daniels has developed a really nice rapport with Terry McLaurin, who's one of my fantasy players. Drake May's got a lot of ability. He's a lot like Josh Allen, believe it or not, just runs around and does stuff. And obviously, Bo Nix has played well. And we don't know about JJ, but I might kind of bet on JJ. He's right over here, by the way. Yeah, I mean, you find every season in team doesn't have the same goals, Angel. Your team's trying to win the Super Bowl. The
Trying.
Lions are trying to win the Super Bowl. The Bears, the Commanders, the teams that dropped their quarterbacks, hell, the Vikings are trying to get stable and a foundation set with the new young quarterback. What the Texans did last year was C.J. Stroud, and all these bad teams do with the Mac Mac Jones and Zach Wilsons and all these other idiots that got run out of the league. What's about to happen with Will Levis and should happen Anthony Richardson and all these other guys that can't play or a mess because Daniel Jones, where things just go wrong and they get blamed, or they play and get exposed. Jameis Winston, to a lesser extent, Trevor Lawrence. So it is what it is. We get a high speed. There you go, out front of my house, Angel. There you go.
What the heck was that?
Noise for you. NASCAR noise for you.
Yeah.
But no, it is what it is. Yeah, I mean, it's nuts when you think about it.
It is. By the way, I know we've pretty much just about blown through the first hour here without taking any of our local sponsor breaks, but we're going to take one of our sponsor breaks here. It's going to be quick, fast, and we'll be right back. But we'll take a quick sponsor break.
Okay, Angel.
We'll come back. Sure. We'll come back. We'll get into a little bit more as obviously the Eagles have gone now on a 10-game win streak, and I keep getting the question throughout the day. People keep asking me if I'm back on the bandwagon. When you're an Eagles fan, you're just there, period. Good, bad, and indifferent. If I went through all the woes of the Eagle years, there is nothing that's pursuing me to chase away from the Eagles. I have a lot of fun with it. I joke around a lot with it, but nonetheless, I will always be an Eagles diehard fan, even though the Bucs obviously are right here in my own backyard, and we report a lot on the Bucs. But nonetheless, we will be right back. Don't forget, you guys can call the show or text the show at 727-858-6650, 727-858-6650. We'll be back with more Beav's World right after this.
Hi, folks. This is Gerard Moynihan of Moynihan Lumber, and I would like you to know that our company has been selling Anderson windows for over 60 years. See the complete line of Anderson windows at any of our 3 locations in North Reading, Beverly, or in Plastown, New Hampshire, or at MoynihanLumber.com.
What's up, Southwest Florida? Jimmy the Beef Guy here. Fort Myers, we answered your call. We're pumped to announce the opening of our second location. It's on 41 just north of the Edison Mall. And guys, nothing's changed here. The beef, the sausage, the breaded steak, our Maxwell Polish. Now serving you in 2 locations, Fort Myers and Bonita Springs. And don't forget, if you're having a party, check out our catering menu.
Hey guys, when you're at the counter, don't call it Gardenia. It's pronounced Jardiniere.
Hey everybody, it's Pete Shepard from the Coastal Sports Network. Want to tell you about my good friend Lou DiMuzio and his company. Lou is the president and founder of Ace Technology Advisors. They're big-time tech specialists. At ATA, they're able to craft, implement, and manage the best and most appropriate solution for your business. They leverage their industry-leading experience and their portfolio of technology partners to improve your best practices and infrastructure. So you can get a hold of them at 888-599-4223. That's 888-599-4223. Check them out on their webpage, www.acetechadvisors.com. That's www.acetechadvisors.com. Or you can email them, sales@acetechadvisors.com. Check out my friend Lou DiMuzio and Ace Technology Advisors.
All right, then we're back here. Beav's World is, I like to say Beef because it's kind of like the end of Martinez and Company from the morning that just evolves into Beav's World. And then we do it together from 7 and a little change afterwards. And then we do it again on Wednesday. And then the neat thing about it is it goes from Beav's World on Wednesday night and carries over into Martinez and Company on Friday morning. So it's like a wave. Just, start the day, end it, and start it back again. Just the way it works. But
as my parents told the people at the hospital I was born, we couldn't control them either. So I'm ZZ Bumwell. I'm a tidal wave. I just answer my phone and things happen. But yeah, it's really amazingly grown. I mean, I introduced myself to you and Pete in August, and look what we've evolved. And station networks growing up. I'm going on Pete again tomorrow at 8:30. We'll talk college football. I'm kind of your college football guy because, of course, I'm 2 blocks away from the biggest college football stadium in the country. We're the defending national champions. I worked for the team for 6 years. Last time we won the national championship in '97. We had some pretty historic players there. A Charles Woodson guy and this numbnuts who was the 7th-string quarterback on the '95 team, Thomas Edward Brady. He's turned out okay. And I've just been very blessed and lucky. Great success and created my business. You were talking about the 5-year thing. Kathy and I will be going on 8 years in the spring of next year. About 4 or 5 months away, been 8 years. She's done 8 years with me, so she goes to mass a lot, so she needs that. But it's been tremendous run here and success, and excited to see what's happening with all of our advancements. And I'm going to bring some advertisers and people your way, and we're going to turn this thing around, and it's going to get big and bad. And Angel, here's a goal. I'm going to get you some guys to help so you don't have to be Mr. Stress and doing 45 meetings and all this stuff. And we're crazy. But Bees will know that I have nothing to do with the drones, but I have a theory on that. And people don't want to hear this, but it's not good. But just pay attention to where the drones are and you can figure it out. And anything important that's coming up here and saying about 30 days. Someone know it's the drone thing is just the latest example. It's 2024. It's just more stupidity in the world that we don't. These little space saucers are flying around. We have no idea what they're doing.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. What's next? Yeah. Let's watch some football. But no, it is. They just think we're so goddamn stupid.
Yeah.
It really is. It really is.
That's what.
But by the way, they still haven't figured out how to help the people in the Carolinas with the hurricane relief and all the Angel and your friends down in Florida with the 2 hurricanes that hit back to back. They still don't help you guys out. But we got spy satellites and all this other bullshit that's going on. So who cares? But it is what it is. You and I used to fight to defend this country, and we got this crap going on. So it's insane.
Exactly. Now, Geno Smith, as you mentioned earlier,
there's another interesting decision for a team.
Yeah. Is it going to be time up for Geno Smith? Last year, it seemed like, it was a resurrected Geno Smith. He was going to be doing well, and he was really on the up and up. But then all of a sudden, it becomes kind of like the Geno Smith of kind of partially old. So I think the Seahawks move on from Geno Smith at the end of the season.
I agree. And if you remember, go back to the draft, they really wanted to get Penix some way.
Yep.
And then Atlanta kind of, because remember where Penix is from. He went to Washington. Obviously, he was a great player. We beat them in the national championship game, but he had a great season. No, Geno is in that group of QBs like Derek Carr, Jameis Winston, where they've had started for teams, had varying success. Derek Carr was like the league MVP the year he broke his back, much like Carson Wentz. So there's guys. Carson Wentz is another guy, by the way, that has played and had success. That's why with Sam Darnold's this year's Baker Mayfield.
Yeah.
So you want to look at these guys only get so many opportunities. Imagine if Brock Purdy didn't prepare himself to play, and a guy like Trey Lance, who was, the 3rd pick in the draft? The Cowboys don't even play him as a second quarterback. He's about to be out of the league. And Mac Jones, probably playing for his career because he's too expensive to be a 3rd quarterback. I mean, look at how the pecking orders goes. Guys like Blaine Gabbert, he's made Chase Daniels did this forever. If you are Brian Hoyer, these guys that are good, established, veteran, no-threat quarterback, the guy who's Jacoby Brissett, who's on the Patriots right now, is another one. Those are the safe non-threats to the starting QB backup quarterbacks. Then you have the guys who are failed on another team, like Mac Jones, Sam Darnold, those type of guys. Geno Smith was brought in like that. To a lesser extent, Russell Wilson on the Steelers. So it's part of what goes on with the team. But Geno, I think he'll be done in Seattle. But why wouldn't he go? Wouldn't he be a good backup for the Dolphins? when Tua gets knocked on his rear end the wrong way and has cream of wheat for brains again.
Yep.
I mean, it's just the reality. Who's the backup on the Eagles? Who's Jalen's backup? Oh, it's who is it?
Hang on,
Oh,
I'm trying to fart here.
oh my God!
Played with Tennessee,
And he's good.
yeah.
Your backup is a good backup. Oh, is it Trubisky?
No, you kidding me? That's Buffalo.
No. Trubisky's with the Bills, right?
Yeah.
Okay, no, who is the Eagles? The Eagles backup is good. Who is it?
No, I'm drawing a brain fart. Rick, I'm pretty sure I'm gonna hub it out here because it wasn't from Tennessee. Where was this kid from? Holy crappies. It'll come to me.
Oh, it's not Malik Willis. Malik Willis on the Packers.
No.
I know the Eagles backup is. I'm looking at it right now. I'm about to get it. Hold on. And he's good, by the way.
I'm trying to think. It was the former draft.
Kenny Pickett.
Yeah, from Pittsburgh.
Yep. There you go. And Sam Howell is on the Seahawks.
Yeah.
Yep. So, Rick, you're too late. You didn't work as fast as my computer, buddy. It's yeah. I mean, that's the thing. I mean, think about. I mean, were you doing that when Wentz got hurt and Foles came in? You never know what's going to Vince Ferragamo, Kurt Warner, Tom Brady, Brett Favre.
Yeah.
There's a million of these guys. That's how Dak became a quarterback.
Yeah, it's tough, because you bring up a good point because Carson Wentz, without him, the 2017 season wouldn't have happened the way it did. Only where I feel bad for Carson Wentz is like, okay, everybody knows without you, there wouldn't be Nick Foles as a replacement to come in, beat Atlanta, barely beat Atlanta, because that catch by one particular wide receiver, if he would have caught that, Mr. Ridley, you're talking about a whole different ball of wax. But, Carson Wentz, your name is still in the books, no matter what. It's like BJ Daniels to Russell Wilson for the Seattle Seahawks. You were the backup QB. You're still a Super Bowl winning quarterback because you were part of that Super Bowl championship team. So the only thing that kind of makes me laugh is Carson Wentz was never, ever able to, until to this day, to get over that hump. Like, okay, so Nick Foles came in, he played hero, he ended up winning it. You could have come back the following season and went right back to the MVP status. But for whatever odd reason, you chose to come back with this huge chip on your shoulder as if everybody said that you weren't good enough. I mean, at the time, everybody wrote Nick Foles. He was the one that won it all. But you could have came back and did so much better. And then you started to shut away from the team. Again, you're supposed to be this, ultra Mormon. There was like all these things. And then now he's, back with Andy Reid. Granted, Andy Reid was not the winning quarterback or the winning coach for the Eagles. But Andy Reid pretty much had talked to you prior to and just told you, listen, I'm not with the Eagles, but I'm just telling you that here's one thing you don't want to do with that fan base. And he did it anyways. Then he had multiple teams he played for. Right now, if I'm Kansas City, I am sitting Patrick Mahomes, which I thought about you last night because it's funny how you mentioned about the after regular season because boy, oh boy, I was waiting for Patrick Mahomes to come back out from the locker room and be just like he was.
Oh, his ankle. Yes.
Yeah.
Well, I mentioned that there's no drug testing in the postseason.
Correct.
And he had the exact same injury.
Yep.
Yeah.
So, call me crazy, but boy, why is it that he didn't come out the way he did against the Eagles in Arizona? Why? So now he
Mr. Needle?
Yeah, possibly. But it's just
Mr. IV?
It could have been, maybe not enough IVs. Maybe that's what it was. But either way,
people really don't even begin to understand what these guys put their bodies through to get through an NFL season. And J.J. Watt's a great example. I wish J.J. Watt would talk on the air and just do like 5 minutes and explain what he used to do to himself to play at the level that he used to play at. Because he's an elite elite historic player. And there are other guys on the TV: Strahan, Howie Long, Gronk. Gronk's another one. Gronk got his ass kicked.
Mm-hmm.
But Julian Edelman's another one. But what these guys put their body through, and what Tommy did, Tommy was very lucky. He didn't get injured a lot. He had some major stuff, the ACL and the sports hernia and things like that. But the day-to-day beating, these guys, Aaron Donald giving it up and going home. But J.J. Watt's an obvious one, just because he used to destroy people. And it takes a toll on your body. It really does. And it's hard. And what these guys have to do, Jerome Bettis is another one. Jerome Bettis has to be in like a hyperbaric chamber every day just to get up and move around. He can barely move. Earl Campbell's another one, but he was playing when they used to just crush guys. And he looks like the old Eddie Murphy in the comedy shows they do, the movies, where Eddie Murphy plays like four characters, the Grumps, whatever it's called. And that's what Eddie Murphy plays. That's what Earl Campbell looks like now. It's very hard what these guys do. It really is. It's tough. Very, very tough.
Who was the one that was yesterday where he got cracked in the helmet and they had to take off the face guard just to start to treat him? And
95 on the Miles Jarrett.
Yeah.
Miles Jarrett, he got speared. It was totally accidental. Joe Thuney wanted to block him, and he actually poked him in the eye. And I thought he broke his eye socket or something.
Holy crap.
When he went down. Oh, yeah, it was Miles Jarrett. He came back in the game. He was fine.
All right. Well,
you wonder why these guys wear like the ski protection visor things. That's why. Because you can get accidentally thumbed. And to be very honest with you, people do it on purpose. Your Eagles did it once to Warren Sapp on purpose.
Let's not forget it was a couple seasons ago too, where a ref threw the yellow flag and ended up in the guy's freaking eye.
Jameer Miller's eye, if I remember correctly. Yeah, that happens. Oh no, that was Orlando Brown. That's what it was. Zeus. Correct. Yes.
Yep.
Oh yes. I mean, yeah, that's crazy. As far as we know, DeBose is okay. Believe it or not, I have some friends there. You know, the wide receiver coach, I believe, is Wes Welker. Yeah, I believe Wes Welker is the wide receiver coach. DeBose is okay. That was a scary play, and I didn't like that hit. I didn't like that. I thought that hit was bad.
But the other thing too, though, and I know Tom Brady mentioned it yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
Russell Wilson, if you're gonna slide, commit to the slide.
I saw this.
It's how do these guys not continue to learn? If you're gonna fake it and you get jammed up, that's on you. But they tell you if you're gonna slide early.
We're just having a Trevor Lawrence, and that's what Tommy was talking about.
Yep. Yeah. So my thing is, when are these guys going to end up learning? When?
Well, didn't Tommy kind of explain what's going to happen? Tom talked about Nate Clements, what Nate Clements did to him when he went to slide in his first year playing. Once you get knocked on your ass once, you'll learn. Trevor will never do it again.
Nope.
I mean, I think he just woke up.
Well, I'm drawing a blank though. Who's the young QB? Was it Blevins, the young QB for Tennessee?
Oh, Will Levis. Oh yeah, he does stuff like that all the time.
Right, but you first of all, I don't even know how his body even makes it at this point. But the first 4 weeks in the NFL, he's beating the crap out of himself. I'm like, what are you? Do you not forget how long the season is?
But Angel, it's not even the young guys. Do you remember what happened to Derek Carr?
Yeah.
What he did?
Yeah.
What the hell is he doing?
I don't know.
He got the Arn Anderson spine buster. I mean, what is he doing?
Yeah.
He tried to hurdle a guy. He's one of the most athletic quarterbacks in the league. And the guy caught him in midair and planted him into the end of his season. I mean, and that's the great point that Tom made about. You have to be in charge of your own safety, and your offensive coaches need to understand things. Like Tom talked about, when I'm playing Ray Lewis, I don't want my inside route guys, Wes Welker and Julian Edelman, getting hit by Ray Lewis. So I'm not going to throw it there.
No.
Is he the 31, the Blankenship, the safety on the Eagles,
I don't think so. I don't think it was a penalty because again, Russell Wilson waited too long, and Blankenship was already going for the tackle. That was on Russell Wilson, and that was 100% on him. If you're gonna commit. That's it. But you want to wait? Nope. Let me get that half yard.
There's a couple guys who do that. I mean, Mahomes does it all the time.
Mm-hmm.
Josh Allen is a moves and jerk guy. He's not fake sliding. He'll slide. He did a couple times yesterday. But Mahomes is real bad at it. He did it a couple times in big games where he's going out of bounds and cutting the side. And it's funny, Dan Campbell, who were we playing? Caleb Williams. When we get ready to play Chicago, Dan told, in the pre-scout, told our guys, hey, he's going to go inside and fake to go out of bounds and come inside. The Keith Byers one you're talking about, he had like a peel block. Rick's talking about Keith Byers and Pepper Johnson, the Eagles. So it was like a screen, and Keith Byers came on a peel block and blindsided Pepper as he turned and blew him up. Hines Ward has a million blocks like that.
Yeah.
There's other ones. Steve Largent, of all people, had a couple like that were good. But no, I mean, obviously the worst one was Warren Sapp on Clifton from the Packers. He basically ended his career as offensive lineman. Warren Sapp, it was like an interception or a fumble, and went and seeked him out and blindsided him and knocked him on his hip and like broke his hip and injured him pretty bad. I can't think of any other ones that were over the top crazy hits. But yeah, the Keith Byers, Pepper Johnson, those old Eagles, the Buddy Ryan Eagles versus the Bill Parcells, Belichick Giants games are always fun.
Yeah.
I mean, Mark Bavaro got thrown out of a game in 90 for getting into a fight at the old vet. But the famous one, and you're going to love this, Angel. This is my Angels porn for you. My Eagles porn. Eagles porn, we're going to call this. The body bag game in 1990. The Eagles injured like half the Redskins team.
Yeah.
It was insane. And the game was in the vet, and they called it the body bag game because there was some guy that was not, guy was knocked out returning the punt for the Redskins. Guy was snoring on the field. They took these, there were a million guys. They were down. Brian Mitchell, I think, was playing quarterback at the end of the game for the Redskins because they had no quarterbacks left, and he was a college option, dual threat guy. And he came in and had to play play quarterback, and it was crazy. And then, of course, the Redskins went into Philly and beat them in the playoffs, which is crazy. The Bounty Bowl, there's another one. That was when they went after Lawrence Taylor. That didn't work really well. And the other one, the Dallas Cowboys going after the old Eagles kicker was on Dallas, and Buddy Ryan put a bounty on him. That was pretty funny. I'm trying to remember who it was. Your buddy, I think might be Zendejas was the kicker, I think.
It might have been.
Yeah, it's just fun. The old 80s NFL Angel, it's fun stuff back in the day.
Yeah, it was. You had to figure. I know it wasn't intentional, but then you also talk about the LT hit on Joe Theismann on the the kind of the awkward friggin' takedown, and I mean now it was on friggin' live TV.
Who was it? Who was it that got hurt yesterday? And the other team was waving to get the stretcher and the trainer guys. Who was it that got hit yesterday? Hurt bad yesterday. Oh my God, I saw it. Oh, Mahomes. Somebody on the other team got hurt, and Mahomes was waving. Who are they playing? Who the Chiefs play?
They played the Browns yesterday.
When Myles Jarrett was hurt. Yes, that's what it was. And I don't know if they have the same agent or just friends, but yeah, Miles, he was in a lot of pain because we talk about Fooney's blocking him, and he took a shot inadvertent in his face, and like he broke an orbital bone or got poked in the eye or something. He's down on his face, and Mahomes is waving for the trainers and stuff. The Joe Theismann thing, the whole Giants team was waving. LT was losing it, and the Redskins offensive line were trying to help Joe Theismann out. Mark May, you remember that Redskins team? They had a really good run with Joe Theismann and John Riggins.
Yep.
And they had a lot of big games with Lawrence Taylor and those Giants. But, it was just Talk about a flea flicker gone bad. I mean, that thing. I mean, Lord. I mean, Theismann. Oh my God. I
Yeah,
think it's very funny, by the way, that that people go up to Joe Theismann and ask him if that hurt all the time.
it's got to be why?
No, he explains to people what it was like. He's like, I'll tell you what you do. You take your leg, go outside, and have somebody hold your leg on a curb and have a car drive over your leg.
That's it.
It's like people actually go up. Like, I'm going to take a moment here to explain to you something, okay? Because I deal with this all the time indirectly. I have people come up to me all the time that know I'm friends with. They ask me Tom questions. And one of the funnier ones, is Tom a good guy? And, depending on my mood, I'll say, Tom's awesome, all that. Or I'll be a smart ass and say, no, we've been friends for 30 years. He's an asshole. So, I mean, it's like, like, is that the best question you can come up with? What's Giselle like is the other one. I mean, what do you What do you think I'm going to do? You think I'm going to rip my buddy's ex-wife or his when she was his wife? What do you think I'm going to do? I'm not going to give you anything.
No, but to me, okay.
Calling me and offering me money to give them things.
My theory
when Harbaugh was here, I had people offering me $50,000 to get him a meeting with Tom Brady and Jim. Stuff like that all the time. So it's just like and Tom's a really good example. Tom knows I'm not an autograph collector. So if I'm asking him for an autograph and I'm not, if it's for a charity or a sick kid or something like that, I'll tell him that and I'll always do it. But he knows I'm not going to call him for an autograph or tickets or something. It's just not what I do. I have one autograph item from Tom in my entire house. And he literally sent it to me out of the blue once about 15 years ago. And it just always, Mo Lewis knocking Bledsoe out on Bledsoe going out of bounds on the sideline, and he stopped, and Lewis almost killed him. Bledsoe lost half the blood in his body on that hit, and he went back in the game. Went back in the game, by the way, which is amazing. Story with Mo, that hit was the game's over. Drew Bledsoe's at his locker, and he's getting ready to go to the team prayer. And Ron O'Neal, who retired after that season, the Patriots trainer, goes over to him and says, "Hey, let's go check you out, get an X-ray or whatever." He's like, "No, I want to go and go to the prayer." And Ron O'Neal insisted. If Ron O'Neal doesn't take Drew Bledsoe to the trainer and then they get him in the ambulance, take him to the hospital, he dies. He almost died anyways. He dies if he doesn't listen to the trainer. So these trainers and these team doctors serve a purpose. It's killed people like Reggie Lewis, Hank Gathers, which you're very familiar with being a Philly guy, Angel. And I'm familiar with Reggie Lewis, obviously being a Boston guy. Listen to your doctors. Don't go searching for a yes man. If you talk to 10 doctors and 9 of them tell you one thing and one of them tells you an otherwise, you figure it out.
Yep.
Probably not right. This isn't Christopher Columbus discovering America. When you go into the ocean ends somewhere. You do the wrong medical things medically or, surgery-wise, it can kill you. And we've seen too many examples of these things. I just mentioned 2 obvious tragic ones and, the Reggie Lewis thing completely devastated my hometown. My grandmother used to watch every Celtics game. She cried for 2 weeks. It was the most ridiculous thing. I've never seen Larry Bird cry in my life. Larry Bird cried his funeral. Dr. J went to Reggie Lewis's funeral.
If you take a look at Alex Smith, right?
Oh my God! By the way, that was what an awful injury. And was that J.J. Watt that hit him?
Yep.
Oh my God.
Yeah, and you're talking about a guy who was resurrecting his career. Started,
I was at the airport when that happened. I was at the airport watching because I was going to the Patriots game. Actually, I was at no, I'm not the airport. I was at a casino next to Ford Field watching that when it happened. And they were playing, I think, the Packers. I don't know who they're playing. There was a Packers game, and they were losing to somebody. But I saw the Alex Smith injury, and it was just that was another one that was really bad.
Yep. I mean,
and not to make light of it, but it got worse because of the cheap, shitty field the Commanders had.
Yeah.
That, of course, what's his face, the dirtbag owner, Snyder.
Snyder.
Worst field in the league.
Yep.
Just not maintained. The Pittsburgh field has always been pretty bad too, but that's more about multi-purpose and the weather and everything than the Steelers. The Steelers are a first-class organization, but their field is garbage. But no, it's just Alex Smith, and he's a really cool guy. He went to the military hospital to get treated, like combat injuries. Walter? Yes,
Walter Reed.
Because his leg was so bad. I mean, it's one of the worst I've ever seen.
Yeah. I mean, he's fortunate. He's very fortunate we walked around today and got, he many surgery. I think he said he still has like one more left. I mean, skin grafts, you name it. It was so bad. It's nice to see him at ESPN and walk around the set and stuff, but
he's good.
Man,
and obviously, Randy Moss. That was tough to watch. Randy Moss. I mean, that's an awful, awful disease he has. That's what killed Walter Payton. So, I mean, I was taken aback to see Randy like that. I mean, that's Randy effing Moss, for Christ's sakes.
Yep.
I mean, I was waiting for him to get up and run past three dudes and score a touchdown. I mean, he's arguably the best wide receiver ever. Obviously, he's right there with Jerry Rice. And they're completely different players. But, but wow. I mean, that was – let's see, but I'm glad he's out promoting a message and because, man, Patriots fans love him. He got a 2-minute standing ovation at Tommy's Hall of Fame enshrinement and everything. And Randy's very underrated human being, too. Good guy. Owns all the Smoothie King businesses he does. He does a lot of good things with people. He's completely misunderstood by the media. He's a good dude. Doesn't get talked about enough in that area.
Yep. All right. Last thing I want to end up with here as we're closing out the show, Heisman Trophy winner.
They got it right, Angel.
They did. They definitely did. I do like it. Not a fan of his fiance telling him that am I supposed to sit here? Which is, listen, you got to get used to that. His life changed. First, it just changed from him making it into college. It twice as much changed last night by winning that Heisman Trophy. He will never be left alone again, ever, period. That's it. Okay, so if she couldn't deal with and not only that.
Let me help you out, Angel. You know what he needs to do to her?
Well, I mean, you got to think about it.
Can't handle this. It's only going worse.
Right. And that's what I mean. Yeah. Everywhere he goes, everywhere. Yeah, it's going to be. Listen, I've run into people that have played on major league teams out at dinner out in Philly. I never, while they were at dinner, have ever approached them, said anything to them whatsoever. Now, if they happen to be leaving the restaurant, not going in, if they happen to be leaving, and I'm walking by and happen to see them, hey, whomever it is, and keep it moving. But I've never been the one that walk up, like you're eating with your family, friends, whatever, your agent, and then you walk up to, excuse me, I know you're eating, you got stuff in your mouth, but do you mind, can you sign this napkin? So Travis Hunter is never going to be left alone, number one. But the thing is, the ceremony itself, it's too long, Beef. It's too long. It's way too long.
I don't have this problem, Angel, because guess what? I'm not watching it, so. Unless it involves somebody who I like, and obviously I see people like Doug Flutie, who's one of my heroes, and Roger Staubach and all the other. I saw Gino Toretta there, and Billy Sims is always there. It's fun. I always like to do that, look and see how many guys I can name. Tebow's always there.
Cam Newton, which he's become quite the spectacle because that dude, his outfits. I mean, he's
oh my god, yeah. But listen, let me tell you something about Cam Newton. That guy was a ridiculous player. I mean, he could do some stuff that nobody's ever going to do or has done. And it's sad too that he doesn't get the credit that he does, and a lot of it's because of the silliness with the outfits, and he gets fried for not diving on the fumble. Mm-hmm. A lot of guys have bad playoff games or Super Bowls. Hello, Peyton Manning. But it is what it is. You should not allow yourself to be defined by one play. I mean, he's all of a sudden now Bill Buckner and some of these other guys that get, looped in. And if you look at Bill Buckner, by the way, he is like a fringe Hall of Fame player. And my Mets broadcasters talk about this all the time because Keith Hernandez and and Bill were contemporaries. He was the Cardinals' first baseman when Bill was the Cubs' first baseman, and Ron Darling is from the New England area, and he grew up as a Red Sox fan, and obviously he's a Mets pitcher on the '86 team. But you never win and lose on one play or defined by one play. But yeah, the Hunter kid, it's going to be an interesting thing. Yeah, the girlfriend is, you might want to leave her home or leave her, period. I mean, if she can't handle this, it's not going to, or maybe she just in a set of public life. That's kind of what Burrow was talking about the other day when his house got raided. And, do you know a lot about Burrow's private life? Because he doesn't want you to know about his private life, and now people know about it. So not everybody's like Tom. I'm married to the biggest supermodel in the world. And, this kind of the gig is to be famous. And, Aaron Rodgers being a weirdo and all the other stuff. And, it is what it is. But you're probably right about the Heisman. I don't like individual awards. I'm a team guy. It's always about winning in the team. And if you win and have success, awards will follow. I mean, awards it is what it is. It's, something to put up on your wall.
That's pretty much it. But to me, again, I just think they have to kind of reinvent how they want to do things because
sports has completely changed, my friend.
I know, but it's too much of a problem circumstance. I got to talk to the guy who cleaned his tires and the guy who rotated his tires and the guy who thought about purchasing his tires. It's way, way, way too long. But listen, it brings in viewers, it brings in people into the seats, blah, blah, blah. And they bring all the Heisman Trophy winners. And some of the people last night, you can just tell in their faces, they were like, I really don't want to be here, but I have to be here because I'm a Heisman Trophy winner. I mean, it is what it is. All right. Listen, thank you all for tuning in tonight. Rick and Dylan, obviously Mickey, it's been a while, and everyone else, we do appreciate it. Don't forget that coming up after us here, still on the network, will be Lloyd Vance's Insider Football with Lloyd Vance, of course, with Kevin Midget. So he'll be on from 8 to about 9:15. And then you start your day all over again tomorrow morning with the Pete Shepard Show from 7 to 10 a.m. And as I mentioned at the top of the hour of the show, that I will not be on with Pete on Friday, yet alone Martinez Company, or any of the other shows on Friday because we will be covering the Cure Bowl out there in Orlando, Florida. So yes, I will not be on Friday. And then
it's a pretty good excuse, Angel.
It sure is.
Got a bowl game to cover instead of hanging out with me and hanging out with me and Pete. And then doing there's Deborah chiming in.
Thank you, Deborah. Do appreciate it.
Executive producer at Beav's World. There you go.
Well, yes. And funny, Deborah is the other producer out in the Studio B. But
that's your wife, right?
Yes. Well, no, this one is my wife because she's not on Facebook.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
There you go.
At least that I know of.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
And
Rick, you know what? Pete is a Boston guy like me. I don't know if you want to pick fights with him. And then I'm his backup. I come on off the top rope. So you don't want to mess with us New England guys.
You called her as
Pete's a Rhode Island guy. I'm from the mean streets of Andover, Mass, baby.
Pete would probably he would probably end up losing it. He lost it this morning because of the Patriots, but that's a whole different show for a whole different day.
There's stuff going on. There's all kinds of stuff going on with the Patriots. You see, they canceled their media availability today, and Mayo is in trouble because he said he threw the offense coordinator under the bus last night after the game. If you didn't see it,
nice.
Philly guys are not tougher, please. Please, you can have the Frasers. We'll take Marvin Hagler and Rocky Marciano.
All right.
Rocky Marciano has a big 0 next to a number in his win-loss record. You can guess which number that is. Nobody ever beat Rocky Marciano, and Marvin Hagler got screwed on the Sugar Ray Leonard fight. Marvin Hagler is the greatest middleweight of all time.
True. That is true.
Thank you, Angel. There's hope for you. Marvin Hagler almost killed Tommy Hearns, and Tommy Hearns was awesome.
Yep. But he was.
It is what it is.
Yep. All right. Rick says, I'll stick with the Rocky movie. That's all right.
Yeah, there you go. Because guess what? The real Rocky's from Brockton, Massachusetts. And he put a guy named by the name of Joe Louis in a wheelbarrow. That's how they take Joe Louis out of the ring in a wheelbarrow.
I can't think of that without thinking about Coming to America when they talk Joe Louis. Where is that's anyways. If you guys have not watched it, watch it.
Speaking of Eddie Murphy, yes, and Arsenio, yes, good stuff.
Yeah, it's always it's a good. If you guys have not watched it, go back, watch Coming to America. Not the second one, first one. You'll absolutely love the first one.
Penguin, real quick. I don't have an NFL team anymore. My team was Tommy, and Tommy retired. I root for the Lions, and I root for whoever's playing the Patriots. I hate the owners of the Patriots. I want the Patriots to lose for 20 years because of the disloyalty to Tommy and a lot of the other stuff they did. And honestly, what they did to Coach Belichick, and they ruined the great Dynasty documentary, which I was part of, and they slandered Coach Belichick and did bad things to Coach Parcells and other people that are in the movie. I mean, hell, I'm in the movie more than Mike Vrabel. Think about how stupid that is.
By the way, speaking of
Mike Vrabel won 3 Super Bowls in 4 years. I'm in the goddamn movie more than Mike Vrabel.
Penguin AZ, as he started, this goes to show you the loyalty of listeners. Not only Rick has been with us since Pete this morning, but also Penguin AZ, who started literally 12 hours ago this morning at 4:31, 7:31 our time when he said, good morning, fellas. And now it's 4:34 his time, and it's the good evening, fellas. So Penguin AZ, love you, man. It always, him, Rick, it's always a good time. Appreciate it, Rick. As he says, have a good night, guys. Always a good show. Do appreciate it. All right.
Doubleheader NFL tonight, Angel. Doubleheader NFL.
It sucks. Both teams are actually, come on. Everybody, Minnesota's, why is the Bears even showing up? I know my producer's probably going to walk in the studio door, but
what's going to happen now, Angel? The Bears are going to win the game now because you have shown them disrespect.
No, listen, I gave them an opportunity again last week. I tried. We both tried. And then it just, no, I'm done with the Bears. I'm done.
Your evil alter ego, my evil alter is Beav. Beav backwards, Beav. I am channeling the football gods to punish Angel and give the Bears a W.
It's not going to happen. There's hopes and dreams.
I have said it. This will happen.
We'll find out.
We'll watch Vikings 45, Bears 6. So there you go.
Yeah.
Sam Darnold throwing like 9 touchdowns.
Yeah. No, whatever. It's going to be done. Penguin EZ says, okay, always enjoy your Lions post. And then last thing.
I have a lot of friends around the Lions. I watch the Lions. I root for the Lions. I want them to do well. The fan base out here is crazy, like Angels Philly team. And I want them to do well. And the owner lives seriously a mile away from me. And I want to see them do well, but it's tough to see them having so many guys injured. And Aiden's one of my buddies, the star of the team. So it's good to see. And I love the coach. People made fun of him, and he's really turned this place around. It's a good team, good organization. Tough what's happened to them recently, but they're going to win here in the next couple of years. They got a really good foundation and things set up.
Let's hope. And
I hope the Patriots lose for 20 years. So there you go.
That's it. All right. Well, listen, everyone, thank you once again. Don't forget, coming up behind us, Lloyd Vance, Insider Football here on Sports Radio 102.9. Start your day off with the Pete Shepard Show. That'll be tomorrow at 7 a.m. Beav will be back with Pete tomorrow morning at 8:30. So if you didn't get enough tonight, you'll definitely get some more dose of it tomorrow, as Beav knows how to push a little of the buttons in the morning show. Just a little bit, just saying. So, all right, Beav, thank you. Yes, the high five as we end the show. And thank you all for tuning in. Don't forget, you can always check out all the content at sr1029thegame.com. And with that, for Beav, for myself, and my lovely producer over in Studio B, have yourselves a great night. We'll see you later.